Imagine a world under an ocean of foamy skies, mixed swamp forests, deep muck peat soil, and a river of grass. A unique ecosystem that includes both subtropical and temperate climate zones. Just an hour-and-a-half drive from 5 million people in the Miami-Dade metro area, there is a unique place out of some other time. Full of animals, dangerous and endangered. All fighting for survival. And it all spins on the wheel of wet summers and dry winter seasons, where animals must adapt in order to thrive. This is the world of the Florida Everglades. Welcome to the largest subtropical wilderness in the United States. The Everglades is a 2 million acre area that stretches from Lake Okeechobee, one of the biggest freshwater lakes in the country, to the Florida Bay. It's a complex network of interdependent habitats that form an ecosystem, a web of marshes, sloughs, wetland prairies, and forested swamps. A colorful array of over 600 animal species and nearly 3,000 native and non-native plant species occupy the Everglades. Their survival depends on a delicate dance with each other, their surroundings, and only 2 seasons, wet and dry. The dry season runs from December through April. It's cooler than it is in the spring and summer, with average high temperatures hovering around 25 degrees Celsius. With cooler air flowing in from the north, there's lower humidity and virtually no rain. Water levels shrink to as little as 15 centimeters in the dry season. During the wet season, they're as deep as 4 meters. It's May, the beginning of the wet season. From now until November, when the season ends, the Earth's axis tilts the Florida Panhandle back towards the sun, making the Everglades a hotter, wetter place. Humidity is at 90%. Temperatures during the day reach over 30 degrees Celsius. The heat causes water to evaporate from the endless grassy plains and accumulate in the clouds, erupting with daily thunderstorms. The Everglades are soaked with heavy rainfalls that typically subside quickly. As much as 150 centimeters of rain can fall during the wet season, revitalizing and replenishing the landscape. The massive Lake Okeechobee overflows and releases water into slow-moving rivers heading south. The rivers flood the prairies, mangroves, and marsh, filling the many gator holes which dot the landscape. For schools of fish and other animals that populate these places, there's more room to move, allowing animals to expand their hunting and breeding grounds. Animals disperse. Because there are so many insects and the wildlife is so spread out, few people visit the Everglades in the wet season. But not all animals run from the flood. Rejoicing in the overflowing water is the West Indian manatee, who calls the edge of the Everglades home. The rain not only increases the water level, it changes its chemistry. During the dry season, the saltiness or salinity of coastal and inshore habitat waters rises because there is less rainfall. Manatees swim up rivers and streams to find fresh drinking water necessary for their survival. In the wet season, when the salinity of the water decreases, the manatees return to the coastal areas. Manatees are one of the only fully aquatic plant-eating mammals on Earth, and though they are sometimes referred to as sea cows, their closest relative is the elephant. Their thick, wrinkled skin is a breeding ground for algae, which acts as a natural sunblock. Flat, powerful tails propel them through water, while front flippers help them steer. This manatee is using its powerful front limbs to crawl slowly through the shallows. In deeper water, it can swim more quickly, as fast as 24 kilometers per hour. Manatees can dive to depths of 10 meters and stay submerged for up to 20 minutes. The manatee's lungs lie along their backbone, and not the rib cage, as is found in most mammals. Their lungs help control buoyancy. There are 2,000 sensitive bristles covering its face, and another 3,000 on the rest of its body, giving the manatee a sense of touch as highly tuned as any mammal, on land or in the sea. These hairs are helpful for finding food in murky waters. They may have small eyes and no observable outer ear, but manatees are believed to see and hear quite well. They communicate with a language of clicks, chirps, and squeals to convey fear, stress, or excitement. Playfully mouthing each other is common amongst these social creatures during mating periods. Manatees do not develop permanent pair bonds. During breeding, females are followed by a group of bulls, forming a mating herd. Males stay with females long enough to breed. Calves are born throughout the year. though more are born during the wet season. Newborn calves weigh around 31 kilograms and measure 1 meter in length. This youngster is nursing. A manatee calf will stay with its mother for 1 to 2 years, even though it can feed itself by the end of its first year. Manatees have no biting teeth, only grinding molars, perfect for chewing vegetation. A manatee can move each side of its lips independently, allowing it to grab aquatic plants and draw them into its mouth. Manatees can eat 10 to 15% of their body weight daily. A manatee that weighs 450 kilograms can eat up to 45 kilograms of food a day. Adults can grow to over 3 meters in length and weigh over 800 kilograms. This herd gathers near nutrient-rich algae on the bottom of a boat. It's a dangerous but not uncommon meal. It's one reason manatees are on the endangered species list. Boat propellers maim these animals, sometimes fatally. Their natural lifespan is roughly 60 years. Other than people who used to hunt them for their meat, oil, and hide, manatees have no natural predators. Today, hunting manatees is illegal. Though their future is far from certain, this herd still survives in the warm Florida waters. Manatees aren't the only animals to benefit from the bounty of the wet season. As the waters rise, the Florida Everglades spring to life. But the changing season brings with it a new set of challenges: tropical storms. It's summertime in the Everglades, and that means storm season. Each year in June, tropical storms begin to form off the coast of Florida. About every 10 years, the southern tip of the state is hit by a Category 3 hurricane or greater, with winds exceeding 170 kilometers per hour. Storms renew the landscape. Winds knock down old, dead trees and disperse plant seeds. Heavy rains cause water levels to rise. This replenishes the mangrove forests. During the dry winter months, the mangroves are shelter for birds that nest and feed here. And during the summer months, these forests provide the first line of defense against the storms. There are 3 main species of mangroves: black, white, and red. Red mangroves, identified by their stilt-like roots, occupy the seaward side of the forests, so they receive the greatest amount of tidal flooding. Black mangroves grow in areas that only flood during high tides. White mangroves face inland and are rarely flooded by tidal waters. Some species can grow as tall as 39 meters. These trees have a unique reproductive strategy. Instead of dormant seeds, they produce seedlings that develop while still attached to the tree and then are released into the water. Once the seedling drops from the tree, there is a dispersal period in which each species must stay in the water for a certain length of time in order to survive. For the red mangrove, this dispersal period is 40 days long. Black mangroves must drift for at least 14 days. The white mangrove's dispersal period is only 5 days. If a seedling lands in a nutrient-rich area, it will begin to take root. This reproduction and dispersal method has enabled vast mangrove forests to thrive by spreading their living seeds far and wide. These forests are a crucial component of the Everglades ecosystem. Their strong roots are a powerful form of erosion control and create cozy living quarters for animals like manatees, turtles, fish, and alligators. If there is any animal synonymous with the Florida Everglades, it's the American alligator. Fully grown alligators are apex predators. They sit at the top of the food chain and can be found in many places throughout the Everglades in large numbers. But even apex predators have humble beginnings. Baby alligators can hatch as early as June or as late as September. The temperature inside the nest determines an alligator's gender. Extreme cold or hot temperatures produce females, while intermediate temperatures produce males. After hatching, alligators grow rapidly, especially during the first 4 years, averaging about 3 centimeters of growth for each year of life. However, they can grow as much as 30 centimeters in a year, depending on habitat, food source, and sex of the alligator. Male alligators grow faster and larger than females. Fully grown males can reach 3 meters in length and weigh over 220 kilograms, while females are about 2.5 meters and weigh 130 kilograms. American alligators don't become sexually mature at a specific age. Instead, they mature at a certain length, around 2 meters. At 2 meters, like the alligators seen here, they're a formidable threat to much wildlife. Alligators actually occupy different ends of the food chain. A grown alligator will eat large birds and snakes. These animals, in turn, will eat alligator eggs and hatchlings. On average, 24 hatchlings will emerge from alligator nests. Only 10 will survive the first year. Even apex predators have to fight to find a place in the Florida Everglades. South Florida is the only place where you can find both alligators and crocodiles. During the wet season, there is enough space to avoid confrontation between species. A crocodile can be distinguished from its cousin, the alligator, by its long, slender snout and protruding teeth. Crocodiles are the largest living reptiles. They can grow to be over 4 meters long and weigh as much as 900 kilograms. They are cold-blooded animals and need sunlight to warm up. Even still, during the summer months, it's possible for crocodiles to overheat. One of the ways a crocodile stays cool is by lying motionless with its mouth open. Body heat is lost through the soft, moist skin of the mouth and tongue. Crocodiles have a long, muscular tail and 4 short legs that have 5 toes on the front feet and 4 on the back feet. They are perfectly adapted for the Everglades, able to move seamlessly from land to water. Crocodiles prefer brackish water, while alligators prefer fresh water, though both can be found side by side in brackish Everglade waters. On land, crocodiles breathe through their mouths. In water, when their mouths are closed, they breathe through nostrils at the front of their snout. Crocodiles and alligators aren't the only reptiles in the Everglades. As the rainy season continues, many snake species are on the move. Some of them are welcome, and some are disturbing the ecosystem's delicate balance. It's August, the middle of the wet season, and water levels are at their highest. Hundreds of plant and animal species call the Everglades home. Some are native. Some are uninvited guests. Burmese pythons are an invasive species, illegally released by careless pet owners. They're native to Southeast Asia, but have spread thousands of kilometers across southern Florida. They flourish in warm, wet environments. The subtropical climate and the vast, undisturbed habitats of the Everglades have created the perfect breeding ground for these massive snakes. Without a natural predator, Burmese pythons are feasting on the native wildlife. They are one of the largest snake species on Earth. Adults can grow more than 5 meters in length and weigh up to 90 kilograms. Because pythons are so large, they don't move in a sideways S-shaped motion like many smaller snakes do. Instead, they stiffen their ribs and scales on their underbelly and propel forward. Pythons have poor eyesight. In order to find food, they use chemical receptors in the roof of their mouth and heat sensors along their jaw. They use their tongue to transfer chemicals from air to organ. These snakes are constrictors, so they don't have fangs. They squeeze their live prey to death and are known to eat a wide variety of birds, mammals, and even alligators. A typical python breeds every other year, produces a clutch of between 20 and 50 eggs, and can live for 20 years or more. The high reproductive potential and longevity of Burmese pythons make it extremely difficult to control their population. Over 2,000 pythons have been removed from Everglades National Park since 2002, likely a small fraction of the total population. Another invasive species is the iguana. These prehistoric-looking reptiles spend most of their lives in the mangrove trees, moving quickly among the branches if disturbed. There are 350 species of iguana in the world, mostly found in Central and South America. 3 of these species are now found in the Everglades, introduced, like the Burmese python, by former pet owners. The green iguana is the most common. This iguana is covered with soft, leathery scales and a row of spines extending from its head to tail. Its hard, long tail is used as a weapon and for balance when climbing. 5 very long toes with sharp claws are perfect for gripping the trunks and branches of mangrove trees. In the hot, wet summer months, these creatures thrive. Their reproductive cycle is correlated with the rainfall, and their young hatch early in the rainy season. The iguana population has expanded rapidly. There may be hundreds of thousands of these reptiles living in the Everglades. They also grow quickly, reaching a maximum size of about 1 meter long and weighing up to 8 kilograms. An adult green iguana may live up to 20 years. Introducing invasive species threatens the natural order of the Everglades, but losing native species can be just as devastating. There are hundreds of species of birds in the Everglades, and some of them are endangered. It's September, right in the heart of flood season. Over the course of a year, 350 bird species make an appearance in the Everglades. The wet season isn't the best time of year for bird watching. That's still a few months away during migration. However, some of the more elusive inhabitants can be seen if you know where to look, and few are more elusive than the American bittern. These stocky herons are well camouflaged amongst dense reed beds. The bittern's color and long stripes running down its neck blend seamlessly into the background. When threatened, they freeze with their heads pointed skyward, gently swaying with the breeze in order to resemble reeds. Limpkins are another rare find in the Everglades. They're more commonly heard than seen. Even when they are spotted, limpkins are not easy to identify. With their long necks, bills, and legs, they look like herons. Limpkins forage in shallow waters, where they use uniquely adapted bills to pull snails from their shells. But they have fierce competition for food from this majestic bird of prey called the snail kite. This adult male has dark blue-gray plumage with dark feathers and reddish legs. This female looks quite different, with dark brown feathers and heavily streaked pale underparts. These specialized hawks fly from nests they build in bushes or on the ground in search of their primary food source, the large apple snail. Apple snails deposit their pink eggs above the waterline in clutches. This protects the eggs against fish and other aquatic inhabitants. But they are an easy meal for snail kites. The slender, curved bill of this medium-sized raptor is adapted specifically for eating snails and their eggs. The snail kite is endangered in the Florida Everglades, with less than 400 breeding pairs. Much of the bird's habitat has been drained, other parts flooded to depths uninhabitable. Rising sea levels and climate change are altering nesting grounds and habitats. High water levels can also usher in unwanted man-made contamination. This has caused water quality to decline, and with it, so too has the snail kite population. Native bird populations are an indicator of a healthy ecosystem. Maintaining these populations is essential to conservation efforts in the Florida Everglades. As the rainy season comes to a close and the climate gets colder in other parts of the world, migratory birds find their way back to the Everglades. The Florida Everglades are full of wonder, but few sights are more spectacular than the return of the white pelicans. Nearly 1,500 white pelicans winter in Everglades National Park. They begin arriving in late October, a sight that signals the end of the wet season. They are one of the largest birds in all of North America, with an impressive 9-foot wingspan. Using their pouches as fish nets, these pelicans submerge their heads to scoop up their food. Unlike their smaller cousins, the brown pelicans, which are year-round residents of Florida, white pelicans spend only part of the year in the Everglades, preferring to summer in more temperate climates. Another migratory bird is the purple gallinule. With its vibrant, colorful plumage, it is definitely one of the most beautiful residents of the Everglades. About the size of a chicken, the purple gallinule is not very good at flying, but is an excellent wader. It will use its extremely long toes to distribute its weight. Amazingly, the gallinule can even walk on lily pads without sinking. Up above the lily pads, an osprey leaves its nest. These birds of prey are found worldwide. In the Everglades, they sit atop the food chain. With a 6-foot wingspan, they soar high above, searching for prey with their keen eyesight. The osprey almost died out completely. Their population did not recover until after DDT was banned by the US government in 1972. Compared to many of their long-limbed relatives, black-crowned night herons are compact. With beautiful red eyes, black crowns and backs, white or gray bellies, and short yellow legs, they're easy to distinguish from other birds. Males are slightly larger, the only discernible difference between sexes. As their name suggests, these herons are most active at night or at dusk, when you can see their silhouettes flying from roosts to forage. They often forage alone and eat small fish, mammals, reptiles, and birds. These social birds breed in stick nests, usually built over water, and communicate with a very distinct call. As the rainy season comes to an end in November, the Everglades become home to a symphony of bird calls and animal sounds. Migratory birds have come home, and animals that were seeking shelter from the rain re-emerge. With the dawn of another dry season looming on the horizon, the animals of the Everglades prepare for the months of change that lay ahead. It's late November, and the wet season is winding down. The Everglades are fully flooded, in some places only a few centimeters deep. Waters from Lake Okeechobee continue to move slowly throughout the region. The slow movement of a broad, shallow river is known as sheet flow, and the sheet flow of water from Lake Okeechobee may take months or even years to reach the Florida Bay. This slow flow of water has shaped the Everglades landscape over its 5,000-year existence, creating a wetland system unlike any other found on Earth. The uniqueness of this environment is due in part to a process known as evapotranspiration. Evapotranspiration is the transport of water from the Earth's surface to the atmosphere through evaporation of water and transpiration from plants. During a year unaffected by drought, as much as 100 centimeters of water can make its way back into storm clouds. Above the Everglades, clouds condense until they're ready to burst, and rain falls back to Earth, completing the water cycle. The water feeds the marshes and prairies. It flows through the mangrove forests, seas of sawgrass and sloughs. And every animal lives and dies by its ebb and flow. However, at the end of November, 2 million acres of wetlands at the base of the Florida Peninsula begin to dry up. Like clockwork, every year at this time, the floodwaters begin to recede, ushering in a new dry season. Without sufficient water, living conditions become unforgiving for many inhabitants. Now, many animals will be forced to live in closer quarters, competing for resources and carefully trying to avoid predators. Some predators become less threatening during the cooler dry season. Crocodiles that were very active during the wet season become dormant. Cold-blooded animals need heat to function properly. The colder the water gets, the more sluggish crocodiles become. At the dawn of the dry season, coastal and inshore habitat waters start becoming saltier because less rain means less fresh water in the form of rainfall. Mammals like the manatee that drink this water retreat back up the rivers. Other animals congregate around the gator holes and become easy prey for predators. This invasive predator, the Burmese python, is much more tolerant of the cooler, drier environment that's on its way. Because they're capable of catching and eating a wide range of food, they're still a threat to many species of wildlife in the coming dry season. Birds along the shoreline must be alert as predators raid their nests in search of a meal. Migratory birds are preparing to leave home to nest in now warmer northern regions of the continent, but they'll be back. There's a rhythm to these seasonal changes, the wet season and the dry season. Locked in a necessary cycle to maintain balance and order here in the fragile ecosystem known as the Florida Everglades.